What's up, everybody? Hopefully you are over your post-inauguration day hangover. I didn't watch any of the celebration myself. It just doesn't matter to me because I knew what they were going to say. I knew it was going to be news, celebrities, athletes, entertainers, the usual corporatists on their knees blowing smoke up Biden and Harris's ass. I knew it was going to be the case. Now, that doesn't necessarily bother me. I'm willing to sit here and wait and see what happens. With some of the executive orders he signed, I think I already have an idea. And with the rhetoric, I think I have an idea where this is going. I'm willing to wait and see where things go. I know a lot of you aren't as, willing to wait and see. And I get it because of everything that's been said and everything that happened on the campaign trail. But politicians talk a lot of shit. That's what they do. Their words don't really matter to me. I want to see the actions. So let's see the actions. Now, I think you and I both know where it's going to head the next couple years. I'm already looking forward to trying to get started the 8646 hashtag. But that's not myself. When do we get Kamala to 8646 so she can be 47? I set the over-under 2 years. I say Biden lasts 2 years before they 86 him, or before Pelosi pulls out the 25th against him. What do you think? I was joking with my friends. Nobody wanted to take the over, but I said Kamala Harris in the study with a candlestick. 8646, Kamala Harris, number 47. Let's get on to this. This is our when you lay down with dogs, you wake up with fleas story of the day. Federal police used tear gas and flashbangs to disperse some 200 protesters who threw eggs and rocks at ICE building in Portland, Oregon, just hours after Biden is sworn in. Federal Protective Service fired tear gas and flashbangs at a crowd of 200 protesters in Portland, Oregon. Demonstrators pelted ICE building with rocks and eggs on Wednesday. ICE building in Portland has been one of the frequent clashes between federal police and leftist demonstrators. Police in Portland, Oregon made arrests after Democratic Party of Oregon headquarters was vandalized. Whoa! Whoa! The building itself was vandalized and they were quick to make those arrests. Now, given what we saw for most of 2020 with the arrest, right? Catch and release was their policy in Portland because of their DA there, Schmidt. We'll see if these individuals who went against the shrine, right, their Democratic headquarter building, that's their temple locally. We'll see if Schmidt is so quick to release those individuals with no charges, like he was doing for all of those individuals that were targeting buildings in Portland when Trump was president. Antifa members spray-painted F. Biden and smashed windows of Democratic Party headquarters, mostly peaceful protests. In Denver, communist and anti-fascist demonstrators set fire to an American flag near state capitol. In Seattle, groups of Antifa rioters vandalized storefronts and businesses in downtown area on Wednesday. In other words, in Seattle, it's Wednesday. Police in Seattle said that Antifa members smashed windows at the federal Nakamura courthouse. How racist. That courthouse has an Asian name on it, Japanese, albeit. Reports indicate that some 60 Antifa members wielded clubs during March in Sacramento on Wednesday. Sacktown represent 916, baby. All right, let's take a look at some photos here. And these are current. No, these aren't from last year. These are right now. It's pretty much what we've seen before. Looks like they're going through a neighborhood here. This is Portland. So going through a neighborhood. They got the Medicare for All sign. And remember what I said when the Trump supporters and the others who went into the Capitol, whether those were supporters or not, that the way that Antifa and BLM are able to outflank those individuals was they all cover their faces. And thus it's harder to figure out who they are. So that's what they say in terms of the advantage they have here, is that they know to cover their face when they're doing their dirt. Here you got the F. Biden. Biden's America, baby. And I joke, of course, but we'll see how the media covers all of this in Biden's America if it continues. See here, you have the anarchy sign covering their Democratic Party of Oregon poster. We don't want Biden, we want revenge for police murders, imperialist wars, and fascist massacres. So they want war against fellow Americans for these things that are supposedly done by others. I mean, I guess you could say police are American on American, but for Americans, imperialist wars, fascist massacres a long time ago, hundreds of years ago, that these white Americans want other Americans dead. For Americans a long time ago, killing people who aren't Americans. There's a lot of nuance to that, but basically, maybe some Americans were killed. I don't know. Black Lives Matter confronts the police, still with the I can't breathe thing, still rocking that hat. There's Whitey right there. Are these guys even black? These guys don't even look black. You know, I've always made that joke that there's a lot more white people, it seems, out there for Black Lives Matter than actual black people. Check this out. This machine kills fascists. Look at this. Lethal dose, whatever this is. This will actually melt a fascist's skin off on the spot. So if you are a fascist and you get hit with this, you'll melt. Like the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz. I'm melting! Yeah, it'll happen. This machine kills fascists. They wouldn't sit there and lie. They wouldn't write something that's not true on that gun, would they? A coalition of communist and anti-fascist demonstrators marched through southeast Portland on Wednesday. A new world from the ashes. And that's what people always say. A new world where they're in charge. We are ungovernable. Now, I will say this. For as much as I like to clown these organizations and call them out for the idiots they are, pathetic losers, there are some points that they bring up that have validity to them. And I think that even though you and I, we know they're full of shit, you can recognize that some of what they say is true. And mainly that has to do with government and its power over individuals. And as an offshoot of government, we say big corporations. We see that obviously with the tech thing going on with censorship and everything like that. How Twitter, Facebook, Google, Apple are able to use their influence to sway this election, almost swayed the 2016 election, but definitely ramped it up for 2020. And how it seems like Twitter is trying to sway elections in other countries. That it seems like they're trying to sway international elections. Imagine that. Again, if I'm understanding that incorrectly, what Twitter's trying to do, please let me know. There they are, the commies burning the American flags. There was a video I did talking about when people were allowed to walk into the Capitol, so-called siege, and somebody was making a comment in reply because I was saying in my comment something about interesting how individuals, BLM, all those individuals on the far left are always the ones that are burning the American flag. But yet so many people side with them. You're siding with people who burn the flag. But that's adjacency. That's not everyone. I'm not that guy that thinks everybody feels this way. An individual made a comment where he's saying, well, yeah, well, people were carrying Trump and American flags when they were dragging the cop down the stairs. Same thing, adjacency. But the one thing, again, that you will never see is individuals on the far left hold up the flag with pride. All they'll do is burn it. So you can say what you want about the right and go further right, but at least they love this country, or so it seems, or love some concept of this country. So it's Biden's America. It's on him now. The keys are his. It's up to him to call this out. And again, we'll see how the media covers this. And most likely, they'll keep blaming this on Trump. Just, crazy hunch I have. This is his now. Everything that's happened after noon on the 20th is his now. So I'm really interested to see how BLM, Antifa, these commie groups, how they try to flex their authority, because it's what I pointed out in the beginning of the video. It's when you lie down with dogs, you wake up with fleas. They invited these individuals into their ranks. They did nothing to dissuade these individuals. You had Kamala Harris out here encouraging and helping bail funds get raised for individuals who are arrested in Minneapolis. That's the deal they made. Now this is their reckoning. And to you individuals on the left, how do you feel about this? What do you think needs to be done? And I'm asking you legitimately. Because you know as well as I do, as much as you may want to hate Trump, you know as well as I do that they use these individuals in a political manner to get into power. They got what they wanted, but now it's time to pay the piper. These groups are now going to come and expect something for what they did. Whether that was votes or smashing up stuff or smashing up people's faces, they are going to expect something in return for that support that they showed. So you have here Biden, victory. Antifa and communist members hold up anti-Biden signs during a demonstration in Denver on Wednesday. Now I want to know legitimately, for you individuals on the left, what do you think? Now if you're far left, obviously I know what you think and I know what you want. And that you are doing this stuff if you're a far leftist. What are you doing hanging out on the internet watching my videos anyway? But if you're on the left, far left, and you support this stuff, then perhaps you should encourage this. You should encourage them to take and take and take more. And actually, now 3D, 4D chess, individuals on the right should be encouraging this as well. And you had instances, albeit probably a small number, where Antifa, other leftist members were able to infiltrate Trump rallies. And you even had one individual that we know of that was in the Capitol. There were probably a couple more. That's not to say they threw a fire extinguisher, but this would be a great time for the individuals on the right to give it back to the left a little bit and kind of encourage the far left to push forward. It advances their agenda, right? You've got here Skin Biden and Cop Mala. You got the America ACAB. Of course they spell America with a K, but I only see one K. They're supposed to put 3 in there as far as I understood, right? They got their good old F12 again. That's coming out. Haven't seen that one. So there's going to be a lot of interesting dynamics out there, but getting back to it, those of you on the left, what do you think of this? Asking legitimately. Do you like this? Do you like what you see? Or do you want Biden to put an end to it? I'm willing to bet, though, that you were out there blaming Trump for all of this stuff that happened in 2020. And then when he sent in federal police, or when he deputized the police in Portland, oh, the stormtroopers. Trump sent in the stormtroopers, the heavy hand of the law, those fascists. Will you be consistent? Will you be consistent if Biden does the same thing? And to you on the right, I would say the same. You were out there calling this stuff out under Trump. We were all out there calling this stuff out. Will we be consistent now? Everybody who was calling this stuff out in 2020. Will we be consistent when it's happening under Biden? Or will in the back of our minds we be biased for whatever team we're on or whatever tribe we affiliate with and kind of root this stuff on a little bit? And that's what I was talking about with an opportunity for the right to kind of, poke the bear a little bit and get things going. So those are just some things I'm thinking about in terms of this story. Let's check out a couple quick comments and then we'll cut it off. The left are never happy. These people are a mix of everything from Antifa, Trump, and just anarchists. Notice how this person doesn't mention BLM in any way, even though we saw individuals flying the BLM flag. And that's what happens when you aren't educated as to what's happening. You've got to call it all out or don't call any of it out. Looks like the Democrats and the left has lost control of their rent-a-mob. And that's what I was talking about. Biden's America, that's my comment. I got 2 thumbs down already. I joke, of course, but it's his problem now. Let's see how he deals with it and how the media covers it. 2 downvotes for stating the obvious. Funny, right? It just shows that people aren't really educated as to what's really going on. How about this? How about you go out and get a job and contribute to society instead of just destroying everything? No one thinks you're edgy for smashing windows. You've got to laugh when the Twitterati, woke, cannot understand why Antifa hate Biden. This is the comment I like here. Well, aside from mine, of course. Go out and get a job. And that's the thing that seems to be in conflict with a lot of what these far leftist groups want. And I'll just end it here. They want mass immigration, open borders. They probably want $15 an hour too. But they don't understand that all of those policies depress wages and don't allow them to get a job. That's just the basics of it. So they can't get a job because what they want is contradictory to that. Again, that's just basics. We're not going into full-on economic policy in terms of jobs and everything like that, but just a thought that I alluded to in a previous video a couple days ago. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know how you think this is going to go. How soon until Kamala Harris? 86s, 46. 2 years, I got the under. Does anybody have the over?